2025 was a really tough year for American retail. It felt like every single week another familiar storefront just went dark for good. So today we're going to open up the case files. We're going to look at the brands we lost and figure out exactly what went wrong.
And the sheer scale of it, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around. Across the whole country, over 8,200 stores shut their doors in 2025. That's a 12% jump from the year before. This wasn't just a little ripple, it was a full-on tidal wave that completely reshaped our towns and shopping malls. And, that number isn't just some abstract statistic. For millions of us, it meant the places we grew up with. The stores where you bought your first prom dress or your craft supplies, or even just party balloons, they just vanished.
As one report put it, shoppers really did have to say farewell. So let's open our first case file and see how a fast fashion giant, one that seemed totally invincible, just couldn't keep up. First up, Forever 21. For years, it was the place to go for teens and young adults. But as it turns out, Forever really had an expiration date.
The end came really fast. A second bankruptcy filing back in March led to a complete shutdown of all its U.S. operations, wiping out around 500 stores. The company, they pointed the finger at economic challenges hitting their main audience, teens who are, super cost sensitive.
But hold on, what were those economic challenges really? I mean, the answer isn't just that teens had less money to spend, it's about where they were choosing to spend it.
This comparison pretty much explains everything. Forever 21 was like a tortoise built on this slow physical store model. It was completely outrun by these digital rockets like Shein and Temu, who could go from a design to your doorstep in a fraction of the time. And they often bypassed the very same import tariffs that were hitting Forever 21's bottom line.
And that kind of competitive pressure, it wasn't just unique to fashion. Our next case file looks at two beloved brands that were all about our hobbies and our celebrations, Jo-Ann Fabrics and Party City. Jo-Ann was an absolute institution, serving crafters for over 80 years. But in February, that whole legacy came to an end. The company cited the usual culprits, sluggish sales and a mountain of debt. But here's a fascinating twist. The brand name was later picked up by its former competitor, Michaels, and now it kind of lives on as a store within a store. So, just as the crafting world was losing a giant, another celebration-focused retailer was also calling it quits. For Party City, well, the party was officially over. A huge reason for their collapse was this one single staggering number. Party City was struggling under more than $1.7 billion in debt. I mean, that is just an immense financial weight for any company to have to carry. It was never just one thing, was it? After 40 years in business, Party City was basically being attacked from all sides. That crushing debt, super nimble online competitors, those seasonal pop-ups like Spirit Halloween, and of course, the big box stores like Walmart offering cheaper, more convenient options. Okay, our final case file shows that this retail illness wasn't just about discretionary spending. No, it hit essential services too, with the fall of one of America's biggest pharmacy chains, Rite Aid. And what this shows is just a slow, painful decline. It all started back in late 2023 with a bankruptcy filing, driven by intense competition and over $4 billion in debt from opioid lawsuits. They tried to recover in 2024, they really did, but it just wasn't enough. By October 2025, a second bankruptcy proved to be fatal, and the lights went out for good. So we've looked at fast fashion, crafts, party supplies, and even pharmacies. They all sold completely different things, but their downfall tells a surprisingly similar story. It's time to connect the dots and identify the common culprits behind this retail apocalypse. It's really the central question of this whole explainer, isn't it? Was it one single thing? Or was it a combination of factors that created this lethal cocktail for these older brands? Well, the answer seems to be a combination of four key factors. First, stubborn inflation hit everyone's wallets hard, which meant people simply had less to spend on non-essentials. Second, the massive shift to online shopping just kept accelerating, leaving physical stores in the dust. Third, like we saw with Party City and Rite Aid, that crushing debt made it impossible to adapt or innovate. And finally, fierce new competition, especially from those agile online players, created a world where only the fastest can survive. When you put all of those factors together, what you get is a perfect storm. It was a storm that many of these legacy brick-and-mortar brands simply could not weather. It was a brutal, unforgiving environment that just exposed every single weakness they had.
And that leaves us with a final, pretty sobering thought. The forces that brought down these giants, they're still at play. The retail landscape is still shifting right under our feet. So the real question is, whose name will we be adding to this list next year?